What's up, y'all? Petty Griffin here. So I know I'm a little bit late to covering this, but Zenless Zone Zero just had a dev talk where they pretty much talked about Update 2.0 and the overall future of the game. So we're going to be going through all the announcements that were announced in this dev talk. So starting off, we're getting a brand new region called the Wi-Fi Peninsula, and in it we're getting a brand new area that is called the Phalum Heights. And the Wi-Fi Peninsula is pretty much where the majority of Update 2.0 is going to be taking place. And I gotta say that this region looks really good. And for how this area is going to connect to the main plot is that there's a material in this region called porcelain. And although we don't know what too much about porcelain, all I know is that it is a material that is highly resistant to aether corruption. And then there's also the other factions in this area that we don't know what they're doing, but all I know is that they're in this region. We'll get to know the reason for Sarah's true motives behind the sacrifice and the bringer incidents. The mystery for the Exaltus will also get revealed. In my favorite part, we get to find out the truth as to why the old capital fell, and we get to find out more secrets and more backstory for the Phaethon siblings, which I'm 100% interested in because I want to see more from Bellum Wise, because I feel like we haven't seen enough from them yet, and I'm excited to see more. And we got some reveals for two of the new factions coming in this update. We got the leader of the Yunquei Summon, Yixuan, who's going to play a key role in 2.0. And what she's going to do is she's going to guide the Phaethon siblings throughout the story of 2.0, with the Phaethon siblings actually joining the Yunquei Summit. And who knows, maybe the Phaethon siblings might actually become playable in the Hollow, which would actually be a very cool concept. We also get to see the rest of Obelguad finally debut. And finally, we got the reveal for the Idol faction, which has been long awaited for. And it's honestly amazing to see them finally get like an actual announcement, because it's been like a year at this point where they've been revealed and we've gotten no information on them. So overall, the story for 2.0 looks very interesting. The whole new area, the new factions, it all looks amazing, and I'm very excited to see what's to come. And on April 13th, they're dropping a teaser trailer for Season 2 and all the factions, so be on the lookout for that. Next are the gameplay updates that they also announced. So first off, they're combining the residential zones and the combat zones to make the game feel more fluid, which I'm definitely a fan of, because it is a little bit annoying of having to go into a combat zone and then have a loading screen and then wait to go back to a random place on the overworld. There's also going to be a main map added, which I'm honestly really excited to see. And they're also going to be releasing the reload times between like traveling between each area, which honestly is going to be really good. And for the Wi-Fi Peninsula, the area is going to be bigger than a lot of the other regions that we've seen so far. And the overall design for the Wi-Fi Peninsula is going to be a lot better and feel a lot more optimized to navigate around. And what's going to be the substitute for the video store in the Wi-Fi Peninsula is going to be the Suibian Temple. And with the addition of the Suibian Temple, the dailies are going to change as well. And how these dailies are going to change is pretty much you're going to be helping where the temple is trying to restore it to its former glory. They didn't give an idea of how the dailies are going to work for the Suibian Temple, but it's most likely just going to be like a management simulator. And the new final gameplay feature that they're adding is that they're getting rid of where you have to go back to the video store and then accept their commission through the HG system, which is honestly a great addition, so it can just reduce the loading times between accepting commissions and combat. I forgot to mention this, but they're also changing the UI, and they're also revamping the whole map selection system. They're changing it to a whole like larger map selection instead of you using the slider to go to which area you want to go to, which is good because it makes it much more convenient to navigate around the map. And they're also updating the special stories, like how some of them felt independent, like how Jane, Yanagi, and Sets, they all felt like somewhat independent to the story. They're going to start connecting the special stories more to the overall plot of the game, and they're going to have the Phaethon siblings appear more in them, which is also another good addition I like, because the independent character stories, they are good, but the fact that they just never get brought up in the plot again as of right now kind of just feels weird. So I'm glad they're going to be integrating them more into the overall story. And they're going to be revamping some of the combat a bit as well. They're going to be changing it from where whenever you switch with your character, instead of the character going off field, they're actually going to stay on field, similar to how like Trigger works right now. You're not going to be able to control them, but they're still going to remain on field supporting you. They're also going to be changing like how enemies work, so they're going to make it where you require different strategies instead of you just using the same team to clear every boss. So that's another addition that I think is going to be cool. And I'm glad that they're actually just making new strategies to counter enemies instead of just inflating their HP by like 50 or 100. Now, although HP inflation still isn't out of the question, I am praying that they are just holding back on that, because HP inflation is starting to get a little bit of a problem in Zenless Zone Zero. It's not like starting all bad, but it's starting to become a little bit bad as of right now. So hopefully these new enemy changes just stop them or slow them down from doing HP inflation. And these combat changes are definitely something that the game needed. And it is giving me hope that HP inflation is going to stop for a bit, but who knows? Maybe they'll make it worse, maybe they won't. All we gotta do now is just sit back and just watch what they do with the game. Now for the events, they're gonna start bringing back some of the older events, like the Bang Boo Fall Guys events and the Bang Boo Tower Defense event. And I'm honestly glad to see those return because in my opinion, those are some of the most fun events that the game has ever produced. And I'm honestly hoping that they just stay as a permanent game mode, honestly. And the last bit of information that they revealed caught me off guard, honestly. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to start buffing the older characters. And they're not going to be buffing them simply just by increasing their damage. They're going to be actually like flat out changing their abilities. They're going to be reworking their abilities so they can actually have long-term value and actually feel meaningful to the game. Similar to how they did in Lost, where they're going to be giving characters like Ellen, Corey, and Jane new abilities or even rework them. And with these reworked abilities, they're actually going to have long-term value and you're going to have a reason to actually use these characters. And I'm honestly really happy for this shit because there are a lot of characters in this game that are actually really fun to use, but because they've already been power crept, they're just not as good as they used to. And since they're getting reworked or even their abilities just changed, they actually get to be usable again. So overall, this change definitely very healthy for the game. And they're going to be having a lot of the older characters actually appear in the story more frequently instead of them just appearing for one arc of the story then just being forgotten, which is actually amazing to see because I actually do want to see a lot of the characters come back and keep appearing more in the story. Characters like Lighter, Caesar, or Miyabi, to see them keep appearing more of the game and actually stay consistent with the story would be amazing to see. So overall, all the changes that they did announce, I am very excited to see all of them. The only problem that I have is just, are they going to be able to fully deliver on these? Because I don't want them to pull another Honkai Star, but they'll say they'll do something and just end up not doing it till like another 2 or 3 patches and they just ended up underwhelming. So the expectations that I have are kind of high, so I'm really hoping that they are able to deliver on most of them, if not all of them. So I am hoping that update 2.0 is able to deliver with all of these. And with that, thank you all for watching the video, and if you guys are also excited for the update, comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video and if you want more videos like this, like and subscribe, and with that, I'll catch you on the next one.